A few weeks back, we did a video on how to install a gun rack, like this one here, for horizontal bar storage. That particular gun rack was at our gym and it was installed into metal studs. Today we're going to cover how we installed this one here in our garage, and there's two important differences. Number one, this gun rack does not have the plastic protection on it, so we're going to install the gun rack uprights, so to speak, themselves a little bit wider, so they're not supporting the shaft of the bar. Instead, they're supporting the sleeve of the bar so you don't mess up the knurl. The other difference is this one is being installed into concrete block. That's really the major difference in this video, instead of metal studs like the last video. Because of that, the fasteners are going to be different. We're going to use concrete sleeve anchors, and so we're going to cover how to use those in this video. So, here we go.
We're placing this gun rack above where our bench sits, so we are first measuring to ensure that the barbells will be stored high enough so that we don't smack our heads into them when we sit down. We're also measuring and making a few other marks to make sure that the gun rack uprights will be positioned far enough apart to support the sleeves of the bar and not the shaft. Finally, we attach a level to the gun rack upright, which is hard to see here, to make sure that it's vertical, and then we mark the 3 holes with a permanent marker. Next, it's time to drill. We are drilling 5/16 inch holes since we'll be using 5/16 inch anchors. A hammer drill with the appropriate bit will work just fine, but as we have a rotary hammer drill, we used that as it makes for a quicker process. We'd strongly advise ear protection and even more strongly advise eye protection, which is what Becky remembered after we drilled the first hole. It's also a good idea to have a shop vac on hand to suck up the concrete dust as you're drilling, and although we don't show it here, you also want to vacuum the hole afterward as well to make sure there's no leftover debris inside the hole. For our anchors, we're using 5/16 inch by 1.5 inch sleeve anchors. As you can see here, a sleeve anchor works by expanding inside the hole. As you tighten the nut, it pulls the flared stud back into the expansion sleeve, which expands the sleeve itself, causing it to wedge outward into the side walls of the hole itself, which anchors it into place. You can see the flare of a tightened anchor compared to an untightened anchor. You'll insert one anchor into each hole and tap it into place with a hammer until it's fully seated inside the hole. Be sure to have the nut backed off enough that it's flush with the top of the stud so that you don't damage the threads on the stud when using the hammer. After this, you'll tighten each nut with a socket wrench. After this, it's time to repeat the process with the other upright. Becky makes a few measurements and marks to ensure that we are the correct distance from the opposite upright and that we're also at the correct height. We attach the level to the upright and use it to ensure that the upright is vertical, and we then use the level in combination with a board sitting on both uprights to make doubly sure that this upright is being installed at the same height as the first upright. Next, it's simply more drilling and vacuuming, and after that you'll insert and tighten down the remaining anchors. Finally, the project is finished and we can load up the barbells.
We hope this was useful, and if it was, please let us know. Hit the subscribe button or leave us a comment below or give us a thumbs up. We will see you next time, and as always, we hope this helps you get stronger and live better.